Through the one great hour of sharing special offering, Westminster joins other Presbyterian congregations to share God's love with our neighbors and to treat our neighbors' needs as holy. This offering supports the Presbyterian Hunger Program, Presbyterian Disaster Assistance, and the Presbyterian Committee for the Self-Development of People. All three of these organizations are positioned at the forefront of efforts to eradicate systemic poverty. I invite you to hear from the leaders of these organizations, Rebecca Barnes, Lori Krause, and Alonzo Johnson.
In the Presbyterian Hunger Program, we're really humbled and honored to work alongside Presbyterian congregations that are doing really wonderful direct food relief, especially in this time of COVID with all the needs going on. Homelessness is growing, hunger is growing, lots of needs out there, and Presbyterian churches are really rising to respond and to fill the gaps that are present. So we do have this really important role to play of feeding people and of providing food to people. But we also know that Jesus calls us further with this passage of Matthew 25 to the deeper ministries also that do touch on systemic issues of poverty, systemic hunger, that not just are we invited to give food to the hungry, but also to see that the hungry are Christ. Jesus asks, in the passage, do you see me? And so I think in the Hunger Program, we've been trying to learn as we walk alongside churches and our grant partners to think about what our posture becomes as Presbyterians when we encounter the living God in those who are living with poverty.
I like to draw my attention to the word apocalypse, which in the Greek actually means to uncover. It's not really apocalypse now, it's really what is uncovered when disaster afflicts us. And what is uncovered when disaster afflicts us or anyone is how much vulnerability is made worse in these circumstances. We're seeing all over the place with COVID and together with many other programs in the national church, a lot of grant money has gone out over the past 5 months to support congregational survival, to support congregational mission, to support food pantries for emergencies and gardens for other kinds of things, and refugees. And in the foreground of all of those grants has been the awareness that disaster, pandemic, struggles of these kinds that are episodic make much worse the circumstances of people who live all the time in the midst of poverty or who are marginalized because of impoverishment. So disaster gives us a chance to uncover poverty that most of us won't look at the rest of the time, and gives us the responsibility to look at that straightforwardly and to engage in it, not just because giving to disaster makes us feel good, but because engaging in disaster helps us to see those who are already living on the margin and the work that needs to be done in development.
Raising our sights, it's about seeing Jesus in those who are vulnerable, but also looking beyond. Milana used the word expendable, which I think is a powerful word because it does get at the heart of the problems with poverty in our world. And as we raise our sights, we look, we're led to listen, and that's one of the kind of recurring words that I've heard in these conversations. It reminds me of something that Paul Tillich says, the first lesson of love is listening, right? And so how do we listen? And how do we listen to our communities who are letting us know what it is they need? Rebecca Barnes can tell you very clearly about, the issues of climate and how that affects poverty, but also how it affects migration. And so some of the issues that we will need to be attentive to as we talk about lifting our eyes and lifting our sights. How do we see the work that we do as something that could be, connectional to those who do not live in our communities and those who live abroad. And these intersections of race and class and social position are really important.
Our gifts to One Great Hour of Sharing provide resources to respond to our neighbors' immediate needs and to address the conditions interfering with our neighbors' flourishing. We will receive the offering Easter Sunday, April 4th. Please give online using the special offering links, or you are welcome to mail your gift to the church. Thank you for generously supporting One Great Hour of Sharing.